Cosmo, why don't you begin?
Look, you know, I thought Brown won that first debate. He may have felt a little bit uncomfortable, and I thought he handily won that first debate. I think he just got stronger this time around. You know, Elizabeth Warren is the legal expert and the professor, but Scott Brown is the one who really took her apart on the stand, so to speak, in this debate. I thought he came across really strong, dominated the conversation. Over 20 minutes on two very uncomfortable issues right out of the box where he got most of the arguments. I think he's 2-0 in these debates in that regard.
How do you see it, Peter?
I would say that, like the first debate, there was much more heat than light. I don't think anyone changed their opinion as a result of this. And I have a hard time believing that those few people that are undecided were swayed. I would agree with Cosmo about the first part of the debate. I think that would go to Scott Brown, but I'd give the second part to Elizabeth Warren.
Were you surprised, Peter, at all that the whole heritage thing was the first question out of the box again?
Yes, I was, because I was hoping to move the debate forward. I wish David Gregory had gone somewhere else. He's a walking advertisement of why they shouldn't have national newsmen parachute in to do these things.
Look, they covered a lot of ground overall in that 1 hour. But, you know, and this is not all about the Cherokee issue, but there was a real uncomfortable moment for her when Gregory asked her point blank, do you believe you're a minority? If you can't answer that question, right, in that debate on television, you know, I don't know where to go from there on that issue, and I think that's one of the reasons why they lingered on it. As far as the moderator, look, Tim Russert, may he rest in peace. Once he's gone, meet the press, everyone is a poor replacement. I thought essentially it was managed fairly well. But they covered a lot of ground in this, a lot of discussion of the issues.
Well, as the late, great sport broadcaster Kurt Gowdy said, when you do a national broadcast, if you have both sides complaining that you're favoring the other team, you probably did a pretty good job. And I think that's what we're seeing here with David Gregory. Peter, give me a best and worst moment from both from this thing.
Okay, for best moments for Brown, I would say his defense of tax breaks for the oil industry and his opposition to the DREAM Act. Now, the reason I say that is because he is the more conservative candidate, and he clearly laid out his conservative position. I'd say the best moment for Elizabeth Warren was her closing statement. She was smooth, she was articulate, she made it very clear that as a Democrat, she inhabited a different intellectual world than Scott Brown. As for the worst, when Brown mentioned Supreme Court Justice Scalia, there are not many arch conservatives in Massachusetts. And mentioning Scalia, I think, will come back to haunt him. The worst for Elizabeth Warren was pretty clear when she named Richard Lugar an outgoing Republican senator.
Do you see anything different than that, Cosmo, as far as the best and worst moments for these guys?
No, I think Peter's got it right. Those flubs, Brown on the Supreme Court, Warren on Lugar, clearly the worst, most kind of goofy moments for each of them. I thought Scott Brown was really strong out of the box, so dominating those first moments was really important. And for Elizabeth Warren, again, looking Gregory right in the eye and not answering that question, that's going to linger with a lot of viewers, including some who just wandered off and didn't watch the whole debate, and that's their impression.
We got a minute to go. Do you think this heritage thing is going away yet? I mean, she still hasn't really addressed the issue wholeheartedly. Do you think if she finally did release her records from Harvard, it would put this thing to bed once and for all, or do you think it shows that maybe she does have something to hide?
No, listen, the poll in the Boston Globe this Sunday shows that this issue does not mean very much to most voters. But will it go away? No.
I want to know what she means by her constant reference to, essentially, would I have called my mother a liar, or would I have questioned my mother? Does that mean that she's actually saying maybe her mother misled her? There's not an explanation there, and I think it just adds to further questions.
Jeez, I think that's a stretch, Cosmo. But
well, you know, it's still out there, and if she wasn't that worried about it, then why did she put her own ad out addressing that issue head on, as she did after the first debate? We'll see how long it lingers. Gentlemen, as always, we appreciate your input. VB will be back with you tomorrow. Cosmo Macero, and we have Peter Kadzis from the Boston Phoenix live at our Beacon Hill studio. They are the heavy hitters. Fox 25 Morning News at 8 starts right now.